In football, it's extremely difficult to get to the top, yet incredibly easy to hit the very bottom. And once a player has hit the bottom, it's near on impossible to get back to the top. In the past, players like Fernando Torres, Dele Alli, and Alexander Pato were all once at the top of their game, but for one reason or another, fell and never came back. But there are some players who have lost it all and managed to gain it all back. So in this video, we'll take a look at 8 footballers who have managed to revive their careers this season. But before we get started, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Harry Maguire. Now granted, Maguire has been far from amazing this season, but considering how bad he's been the last few seasons, he's definitely been much better. Last summer, Ten Hag wanted to get rid of him, and a move to West Ham was on the cards, but Maguire ended up staying and fighting for his place. At the start of this season, Maguire actually fought his way back into the first team and was being favoured over Varane by Ten Hag. A massive turnaround considering the manager stripped him of the captaincy and wanted him gone in the summer. Maguire even won the November Player of the Month in the Premier League, which some may say was tokenism, but regardless, Maguire has gone from the butt of all jokes to a steady centre-back. Number 7. Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez has always shown huge potential, but injuries have stopped him from showing it on a regular basis. At only 26 years old, he has a long history of injuries, missing over 250 games in his career. Gomez himself admitted back in August that his injuries have took a toll on his mental health, but this season he's been fit and playing well. Originally a centre-back / right-back, Joe Gomez has filled in at left-back for the now fit again Andy Robertson. He's already got more appearances this season than he had the whole of last season and is very happy to be back on the pitch, regardless of where he plays. There's never been a doubt on Gomez's talent, but hopefully his injuries are behind him and he can get himself back into the England setup. Number 6. Fernando Torres. In August 2020, Manchester City paid £21 million for Torres and gave him the number 21 shirt, previously worn by club legend David Silva. This alone shows how highly Pep and his team thought of Torres, but he didn't live up to expectations. In his first season, he did considerably well, scoring 13 goals in all competitions, but injury had him fall out of favour at the club the following season. In December 2021, just over a year after going City, cash-strapped Barcelona found £60 million to save Torres from his City nightmare. In his first 1.5 seasons at the club, he only managed 8 league goals and was even often benched in favour of Ousmane Dembele. Torres revealed that he was struggling to deal with his slump in form and that he was working with a psychologist to try get back to his best. And this season he's arguably playing the best football of his career, having already got 10 goal involvements in the league. Torres has also shown his versatility this season, having played left wing, right wing and up front all to a high level. Number 5. Pulisic. The LeBron James of soccer had a 4-year spell at Chelsea from 2009 to 2023 and at times looked like a world beater. In his first season at the club, he scored 9 league goals and got 6 assists in 25 games, justifying his £58 million price tag. But since then, he's missed huge chunks of every season with various different injuries. This meant he was never able to settle into the first team, and Chelsea cut their losses last summer when they sold him for around £20 million to AC Milan. And at Milan, he's only missed 2 games through injury, becoming one of the club's most important players. As of recording, he has 13 goal involvements in 29 games and has broken the record for the most Serie A goals scored by an American in a single season back in December, the same month he won Serie A Player of the Month. With the form he's shown this season, Chelsea may regret letting him go, with the likes of Mudryk and Madueke being far from impressive. Number 4. Isco. It's been a long time since Isco was performing at a very high level. The 17/18 season was probably the last time his career had any relevancy, as he scored 7 goals and got 7 assists for Real Madrid in La Liga. From then on, he was a bit part player for the club and was eventually let go upon his contract expiry in 2022. Isco then signed for Sevilla and hopes were that he would rediscover his old form. But again he disappointed and just 4 months later he had his contract terminated. He was then on the verge of signing for Union Berlin, but that didn't materialise either, and he stayed a free agent for the rest of the season. Last summer he signed for Real Betis, and despite many not expecting much from Isco, he's rolled back the years and shocked everyone. He's got 12 goal involvements already this season, which included a brace against Barcelona recently. If he keeps up this form, Isco might be a surprise candidate for Spain's Euro squad. Number 3. Dominic Solanki. Solanki made global headlines when he won the 2017 Under-20 World Cup with England, whilst also winning the Golden Ball, marking him as the best player of the tournament. But up until recently, he hadn't shown even a fraction of his talent in the senior game that he showed at youth level. He failed to make the grade at Chelsea and Liverpool, but Bournemouth still splashed out £20 million on a player who only had 8 senior career goals up until that point. And at Bournemouth, things didn't get much better initially either, as in 2 seasons he only managed 4 league goals and suffered relegation to the Championship. But relegation may just have revived Solanki's career, as 2 seasons in the Championship saw him score 45 league goals. His goals fired Bournemouth back into the Premier League, but again Solanki struggled, scoring only 6 league goals last season. However, this season Solanki has exploded with 13 goals in 21 Premier League games as of recording, which included a hat-trick against Forest. Still only 26, Solanki may just end up fulfilling the potential he first showed almost a decade ago. Number 2. Richarlison. Spurs splashed out £60 million on Everton's Richarlison 18 months ago, and he quite possibly had the worst debut season in Premier League history. A big statement, but Richarlison had more disallowed goals last season than actual goals, with his one and only Premier League goal coming all the way late in April. With Kane having left Spurs in the summer, Richarlison was promoted to main striker, and this was heavily criticised by Spurs fans, who didn't think the Brazilian was good enough to be a backup, let alone the main striker at the club. Richarlison took his goal-scoring struggles to Brazil and revealed he was struggling with mental health issues and would be seeking professional help. Well, whatever he's done has clearly worked, as he has 9 goals in his last 8 league games, making him the most informed striker in the league. If Richarlison continues this form, he may just have successfully filled the huge void left by Kane at the club. Number 1. Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley's revival is probably one of the biggest surprises of the current season. He burst onto the scene all the way back in 2011 as a 17-year-old for Everton. He impressed so much in the early stages of his career that Martin Keown once predicted he would be one of the best players England has ever seen. On January 2018, he signed for Chelsea, but failed to kick on as he suffered with injuries and off-the-pitch disciplinary issues. In November 2019, he was pictured topless in a nightclub, which drew criticism from then Chelsea manager Frank Lampard, who dropped him out of the squad. In his last 2 years at Chelsea, he only made 8 league appearances, with a loan move to Aston Villa sandwiched in between. In September 2022, he signed for big spenders Nice in Ligue 1, but had a fairly forgettable time at the club. Back in August 2023, he signed for newly promoted Luton Town, and hopes weren't high for him or his new team to do much in the league. But both parties have surprised, with Luton Town currently out of the relegation zone, and Barkley one of their best players. Luton boss Rob Edwards insists that Barkley is making a strong case for an England call-up, which would be his first since 2019. And that was it for the 8 footballers that have revived their careers this season. Have we missed out on any players who deserve to be on this list? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel.